Hey everybody, I know it's crazy, but I have got to get on with 2027 planning, and I'm looking for inspiration wherever I can find it. And I have some really cool ideas I'm working on, and I need your feedback. Okay, so end of August is coming up really fast, and I am growing a whole bunch of plants of all the brand new proven winners for one of the local trade shows where garden centers, growers from all over the country are coming to Oregon for a show called Far West. And I have been growing a lot of their plants, and it's funny, as things start to kind of grow together, I start to see some combos start to emerge. And like I said, I need some feedback from you. This is Proven Winner's brand new coleus for next year. This is Pepper Flakes, and it has that kind of really kind of burnt red look to it with some speckling. And it's a beautiful color. I just really wasn't sure what to do with it. And this is a plant I don't normally grow. This is Sunstar Red. It's a beautiful penta. And in the Northwest, you don't see pentas a lot because they really like to be hot. They love it in the South. But actually during the summertime, these are beautiful. And I'm going to use it in this combo because I just love those two colors together. And I think if you were looking at trying to do this in the springtime, a really kind of deep maroony red geranium would be a really nice substitution for it. But I'm really kind of, monochromatic colors always speak to me a lot. I don't like things to be too busy. I like things to kind of all work together. And I just love that contrast here, just enough between the penta and that beautiful coleus. And then I grabbed, this is one of their brand new caliber crows for next year. This is Double Midnight, I'm still learning all the names, Magenta. And beautiful, nice red flowers. I think it kind of picks up on a lot of the tones that we're already working with without making things look too different. And I think that those are going to be really nice. And last but not least, Proven Winners has been promoting this pretty heavy. It's their new Outshine salvias. There's two different colors of it. This is the red one. It's really pretty. It's just not, it's not the star of the show, so to speak. It's more of a supporting cast. But the nice thing about it is it's very drought tolerant. It's going to bloom from spring until fall without fail. There's very few pests that are going to come into play with this guy. He'll do really, really well. And I think in this container, just to add some height to the back here, this little red flower is going to do great. All right, kind of make everything look and play nice here, but I'm really loving this monochromatic look. Like I said, during springtime, I would probably substitute in a nice maroon geranium right here to go with this, but you have the salvia, got the coleus. This particular coleus is going to take more sun than most of them. It is, a couple years ago, Proven Winners came out with chartreuse, mini-me chartreuse, and it got really big. I'm not seeing that with this coleus. I don't think it's going to get quite as big as mini-me. It's still a beast, beautiful, branching really well, but for containers, I think it's going to look fantastic. I have some more new Proven Winners I'm really excited about, and to be honest, I'm not really sure where this combo is going, so I grabbed a couple different things. And I forgot to mention when I was doing the other one, most of this I have available right now. I know not everyone's looking for annuals this time of the year, but it's a good time for me to start playing with it. And Proven Winners, so it's 2027 stock, right? Their year end actually ends in June. July 1st is the start of the next year. So they're already in production, moving on, getting ready for 2027. So I have access to a lot of it early. A lot of garden centers and growers stopped growing it, but we always have stuff going on all summer, so you can know you're going to be coming out to Bauman's is going to give you one of the first chances to get a lot of this new stuff. But now we're moving on to some perennials. This is a brand new Rudbeckia from Walter's Gardens. This is called Treasure Trove. There's a couple things that make this plant just amazing. Very hardy, going to last many, many years in your garden. Rabbit resistant, deer resistant, drought tolerant, full sun to part sun. Like, this is one of those easy plant perennials. Water it, get it established, and just let it produce. The hummingbirds, the bees, the butterflies, all the pollinators are going to love it. This plant checks so many boxes that I was really excited. It's not going to get too big, like 2 to 3 feet tall, probably about 2 feet wide. It's loaded with buds, so I knew that this was going to be a centerpiece. Now, we talked about some of the, I've spent the last couple months trialing their brand new Proven Harvest. It's coming out next year. And one of the plants that really surprised me, when I first got the seeds, yes, there were some cool tomatoes. Yes, there were some cool peppers I was excited about. But when the growers came out, this is their brand new kale. And I thought, oh, great, it's an ornamental kale. Like, as it gets cooler, the center will get more and more really dark maroon tones. But it's not an ornamental kale. It's an edible kale that looks ornamental, which is perfect. So we're going to put this in our program for next spring, and we'll sell it just like you would any other edible kale, in that you can plant it in your vegetable garden, use it. It has a very high sugar content. The seed company that is kind of spearheading this project for them said that they use it a lot for like kale chips and stuff at their house because it has such a nice high sugar content. So you can definitely use it in salads. You can definitely use it in your baking, in your soups. Like, I am so excited. I think that this plant is something that you can plant in the springtime. You can harvest as the season goes, and it also looks amazing. And I also want to do another planting, I think, right around this time, because I think as a lot of things fail in the summertime and we need to replace them, dropping in this kale into pots, containers, flower beds is going to give you a really nice ornamental look throughout the fall into wintertime, and you can still eat it. So this checks a lot of boxes for me. I wanted to start kind of playing with it, and I got to kind of turn this around so you guys can see, but this is what I knew I wanted to do. Now we're going from here, and I don't know where we're going. Okay, so there's a couple ideas I had. One, couple different salvias. This is Rockin' Fuchsia. You can't go wrong. Had this for years. I like it. I think that this purple in here, this fuchsia color, is going to pick up more of the fuchsia tones in the kale, so that's why I grabbed it. But Proven Winners has this brand new salvia coming out for next year. It's called Living Large. I just got, in fact, right back on the table back there are my very first liners. We're planting them up. I have some trial plants here. This is supposed to get fairly big, like 2-3 feet tall, loaded with blossoms. And I was just noticing it's kind of sticky, which I thought was interesting. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe one of you know why salvia flowers are sticky. Let me know. I'm going to have to ask Matt from Walter's Gardens about that. Really pretty, kind of more textured foliage than I think a lot of salvias have. This variety is going to be much hardier than the Rockin' series. I have pretty good luck in the Northwest with the Rockin' series coming back, but I'm excited about this. I like the blue. I think the blue would go well here for springtime. I think that would be really pretty. I just don't think it's going to give me the color I want going into fall. So we're going to put this one to the side. I think I'm going to stick with my original choice for now. So hold this thought, okay? Nice. This is one of my favorite perennials going into fall. This is Candy Corn Spirea from Proven Winners. Super hardy, easy to take care of shrub, has beautiful flowers on in the summertime, does lose its leaves late in the fall, but as all this new growth comes out, you get that really nice red maroon tones coming out on the new leaves, and then it fades from that to almost kind of a bronze and then golden colors. So for fall, it really does look like a candy corn all on one plant. It looks fabulous, and I think it could really pick up we have some of the red tones in the leaves, the golden tones in the flowers for fall. I think this would be really pretty. And we sell this in 1 gallons. It's an easy plant to drop into containers. Once you're done in the containers, you can pull it out and put it into your landscape. It's a great landscape plant. Yeah, it's fantastic. This is another brand new annual for this year. And this is probably not one that's like on people's top 10 list or people are so excited about, but this brand new potato vine, this particular one is Bewitched After Midnight. I have not pinched this, I have not trimmed it, and a lot of times with potato vines you get these long runners coming out, but look how nice and full this is. It has a really pretty leaf to it. Using in containers especially, I think this potato vine is going to be really pretty. Pairing this in here, I've got that kind of dark pot, and then having this dark foliage contrast with the other, I think would be really pretty with the salvia coming up the top. It's another idea. Last but not least, and this is where I think I grabbed this too because I think it's sometimes confusing for a lot of you. This is Orchis Ogon. I did get this from Proven Winners. That's why it's in a Proven Winners pot. But Proven Winners has in their plant selection, Proven Selections is sometimes what they call it. I was trying to see how they designated on this plant. This plant, or this grass actually, is not exclusive just to Proven Winners. You can see it in others. And I think sometimes when you say, but wait a second, why is that in a white pot? That's the same plant in a black pot. Proven Winners kind of pulls in some other plants just because they're kind of staples, things that you need to have in order to kind of fill out a collection. So sometimes you'll find it in a white pot, sometimes you'll find it in a black pot. Not every single plant that you find in a white pot is exclusive to Proven Winners. This is a great example. Orchis Ogon is such a great evergreen grass. I love to use this, and I think I was trying to come up with some different texture in here and to kind of pull this golden color through. And for right now, I'm going to use this, I think. We'll see how it looks. I may change my mind. We're going to pull this right up front because I want the texture. I want it kind of coming out the front here, and I want to pull that golden color through from the top to the bottom. Now, I think, like I said, we're going to stick with this Rockin' Fuchsia Salvia just because I think as I'm going into fall, it's going to play a little better for this combo. But I do like the idea of using the blue, Live in Large Blue Salvia for the springtime. I think would be nice. So that's why I'm always kind of evaluating and making combos in my mind and how I can work with them different times of the year and which color palette is going to be more appealing at different times. It's a good time to mention, people often ask me, like, how much should you rough up the roots? And don't ask me why I remember this, but I remember this so vividly. I've talked about this before. I was on a plane. I don't like to fly. Little tidbit about Brian. So I try to read something to kind of keep my mind busy while everything's going on around me. And I so remember reading this article on Better Homes and Garden, where they took a plant, they planted it, they had several plants, all the same plant. They planted one where they didn't disturb the roots at all. Then they planted another where they just did the bottom. And then they planted another where they disturbed the roots all the way around the outside of the plant and planted each of them just to see, and kept the watering, fertilizer, everything the same, to see what a difference, the different types of root that you would do. And the one that did the best is the one where they disturbed the roots all the way around. So if sometimes you're worried about disturbing it too much, don't be. You can probably be a lot more aggressive than you think you can. Let me look. Okay. we're gonna try and fit this potato vine in here too. I know it's a lot, but these planters and stuff are a really good opportunity for me to see how things play together. So, I mean, when I'm making a combo for plants for next spring, I'm gonna plant hundreds of one combo. And so if something doesn't play nice or things take over, like, it can cost me a lot of money if things don't work out the way I think they should. So by planting up these test pots and seeing how things go, I can really get a sense of how things happen. Now, you can see the grass is maybe not coming through as much as I want. It was probably a little bit smaller than I would have liked to start with, but this is where I get a chance. Let's let this potato vine come down. The grass should fill in and kind of stick in the top. We've got the salvia coming up here, and we're gonna roll this Rudbeckia forward just a little bit. It was the first one we got in here, but I think it's gonna fill in as we go. And we're gonna see how this planter holds up through the fall. Start marking it down, writing it down, because now is the time to start planting and figuring out all of your pots for 2027. And luckily for you, Bauman's has a lot of these available right now. You want to follow along, because next week I'm taking you back to my house. And I've been hesitant to do this. I work at Bauman Farms 6.5 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, and I'm usually over here for a little bit on Sunday. My house gets neglected a lot of the time, but I cannot tell you the number of people that have come in and been asking about how my secret garden is going. And it could be going better. I have neglected it, but I think there's some good learnings in there on stuff that I want to show you. I'm going to rip a couple things out because they failed. It got too hot in certain times, and some of the things are doing really well. So I don't know, I feel bad. Like, I feel like you guys listen to me do all my plants, and I should do everything right, and my house should be perfect, and it's absolutely not. I have plenty to learn about landscape design and which plants to grow, but I think that's one of the things so many people are afraid to garden, because they're afraid to make a mistake. And all the people that we see online are so beautiful and amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you some not beautiful and amazing stuff next week. So subscribe, like, I appreciate all the compliments and the comments. Keep them coming, and I look forward to seeing you soon.